Good evening and welcome to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin, I'm your host, and tonight we are joined by Ozzy and Rich. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my voice back.
No, you're in the middle of eating something.
Yeah, cough sweet to get my voice cleared.
Nah.
How are you feeling, Rich?
At least I can talk now, ish. I feel like one of those rugby league players who's been tackled in the neck for 10 years and then has this weird voice for the rest of their life. Soothing, calm.
Rich has had
You
a
sounded a bit more
10-year-old
high pitched.
It's not. It's not designed for a rant. That's the problem.
Rich has had tonsillitis that 10-year-olds get, so he's been having loads of ice cream days off school.
Do you know the best thing for tonsillitis? Hot curry, because it hurts at first, but then it clears the pain.
That's not on the NHS, that, Rich.
Chicken fowl. Yeah, or a really spicy Thai jungle curry. That's what you need.
Oh dear.
Every time.
I do play a few minutes late. We had a couple of letdowns on the panel, so I was just checking we had enough.
This could be like a competition, Ozzy. Who do you reckon's going to die first, me or Martin?
Oof.
That went down the wrong goal.
I'm going for Martin, to be honest.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah,
I reckon I'll be here.
Right,
at
the
the
club
end.
doesn't care about the fans, keeps us all waiting.
Yeah.
Listen, tonight is not a rant. Well, won't be a rant. Could turn into a rant. Steve, by evening, please. Hope all are well. We are legacy viewers. Piss off.
You're not like
customers and legacy coming out tonight.
Yeah. No, and you're not like City. You're falling apart. You sound a bit more like United today. Yeah, leaky roof.
Like
things going in the wrong holes.
Good evening, Caribbean Racer and Kyle Smith. Kex O'Neill is in the building. Good evening, mate. Section is with us. Pardo Oaks is with us. Tom is with us. Sean C is with us. Good evening. DC is here as well. You never know, DC. Pat may make an appearance.
Strange things happen.
That's what works for him. Pat gets any downtime, he's going to jump in.
Yeah,
Alan will not be here tonight. Alan decided to go out and get drunk last night and go back to another lady's house and tell us 5 minutes before we came on air.
What?
And then Rich was wondering why I was upset. You're laughing, but it's like not normal for a 60-year-old man to behave like this.
It's Alan.
Rich was trying so desperately to keep
I've heard his yeah. I think he just I suspect he dressed up as Nico Otamendi last night and just tripped over himself, and he hasn't managed to clear the fake tats. Yeah.
Evening, Mingy One. Mingy One, by the way, thank you for renewing your membership. It is absolutely I never said you. Give over. Calm down, Mr. Insecure down there.
No, we're all talking about you, Pat. It's disgraceful.
Yeah, we talk about you off air though.
Those aircraft don't need keeping in the air.
Ozzy's plan to take over the channel. What? Get Alan on the piss?
No, everyone else dies. Everyone else dies, and Ozzy's left on his own.
Please like and subscribe if new. Yes, please smash that thumbs up. It really does help your channel. The more likes, the more interaction, the more subscribers it will get out and help the channel, because it will tell YouTube that you should be watching this show.
Yeah, and it'll help Ollie. It'll help Ozzy deal with his grief when he loses. Right,
I'm not liking There's something wrong with my background at the minute. It's not playing ball. We'll try that one, see if that's any better. Our transfer window was 3 out of 10. Behave. Was it heck? Shocking transfer window. Which one? The one in January, the one in the summer? Because you just told me the summer one's no good. So was the January one any good? Because we only bought one player and he's not coming in for another year. Alan was holding a Nunes celebration. Too much information. Alan Walker. Sir Alan living that Aussie life. I might donate 99p. I don't know. That's not a lot, but I love it. Mate, you don't need to know donate anything, honestly. It's whatever. We never say you have to do. It's only when you want to do, and all is appreciated. Hello, Lucille Blue. How are you? Long time no speak, my friend. You all thought Calvin Phillips is good. Now you're eating your words. What do you mean you all thought? Are you a City fan, Mohammed? Just out of curiosity, have you come on and you're supporting a cartel club? Did anyone see the what?
Anyone see the Alan?
My ear's been burning all morning. There's better places to be living rent free. Adam's throwing up his usual European cups. Carl Smith, did you enjoy the stadium tour for your birthday? I hope you did. Evening, Jimmy John. How are you? Can you bump up the volume on your mic? It's as high as it goes. My friend.
That mic's
Cheap
so
mics.
amusing. Yeah.
You really don't like that mic, do you, mate?
It's just funny.
It is as high as it goes, honestly.
Don't encourage him.
You know that switch? This is off and on, just off.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know how to use a mic after 6 years, mate. I think I'm quite there now.
Oh, no. Wasn't that?
You started
just
off
thought-
this.
You.
Yeah. I'm not sure you do know how to use that mic. I'm not sure it is a mic.
You stop. Don't start. It's not a mic. Echeverry
Starts
looked good last
vibrating.
night. We'll see. We'll see. Did anyone see that from March, all roads around the grounds are going to be permit parking? Yes. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. There's a few things are changing that I've had a chat with. I've had a chat with a couple of people. I'm not going to name the names because it's not fair. But I'm going to name some information that I got from very credible people. I've done from a few times. There's so much fun. Glad you enjoyed it. Champions League. Good evening, Blues, says Justin. No, it wasn't Ozzy.
Yeah.
Hello, Julia. How are you? Hope you are good this Saturday evening. West Ham fans already saying he's a calamity. We need 3 or 4 players this summer. We'll buy it this summer. Don't worry. King Robbie, thank you for the love hearts. FIFA's laughing at Alan. Did you see all the Laporte goal from inside his own half? Well, he's playing in the Sunday League football. Come on, let's not pretend now he's playing in a very competitive league here. Because did anyone notice someone else scored a 45-yard the other day as well? Apart from 45 yards out.
Martin, when you talk about Sunday League in Saudi Arabia, you're being culturally appropriate. You're not talking about the standard of the football.
Yeah. Shame on you.
No, I don't think that league is as good as they all said it was going to be. Can you all not hear me or something? Turn your volumes up. Twitter is making me think City should have signed Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Bellingham, Rice, Paqueta. Do you think fans would have been happy then?
No.
Never.
We've been miserable with all those glory boys at the club.
Winning the UCL is the only thing that matters. 4 in a row matters, mate. Neil on Saturday did see Laporte's nice goal. I never knew the parking is now permitted. I normally park on Briscoe Lane. Yeah, that's all stopping, mate. These things are changing. Anyway, we'll get into it and then we'll go through it. Right.
Have you got the rights? Have you got the rights to play Bob Dylan? Because I think we could listen to a Bob Dylan song now.
Right. So, the thumbnail has gone out. No, we'll get rid of that. The thumbnail has gone out talking about what are the club's priorities, basically. And what I mean by that is because we know we are fantastic on the field. Best football team in the world. But over the last few weeks and months and probably years to some people, but especially in the last 7 days, the noises are getting a lot louder from fans off the field, because things off the field for the fans, some fans, are not the rosiest in the garden. Now, I'm not trying to do this to be negative or have a pop at the club or anything else. What I was trying to get out of this was, and I think the club should have a nice balanced view between fans from abroad and the local fans here. Because I love the fact we've got fans from all over the world coming in to watch Manchester City, and we're growing as a fan base. I think it's brilliant. What's happening is, though, those fans from abroad are being given the priority over fans who've been coming here 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And this is where it's falling down. And Ozzy himself saw a little bit of that last week when he went to his local supporters branch and was promised the world and got hardly anything. There are other stories as well that I have spoken to people about this week. I know Big Steve did a show on his, and he talks about a few things that are just falling down the cracks a little bit within the club. So that's what we're sort of going to go into. But, I mean, Ozzy, we'll kick it off with you. From the outside, what would you say is the perception of how the club are with fans?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it, really? You know, I think on the one hand, I mean, we talked about this off air, saying that, you know, we get kind of the end of season report from Caldoon. You know, it's very much a personal kind of the story of how the season has gone. And you do feel there's a personal touch from him, which is great. I think, you know, there are some fantastic things the club does that aren't to do with what's on the pitch. They, you know, to do with the surrounding area of Manchester. You know, the charities are involved. So there's a lot of good that comes from the club. But then there are, as you've alluded to, kind of, if some fans just feel there's a bit of a brick wall between them and the club. You know, that our voices aren't really heard, that we don't really have the best of communication lines. You know, and I think some of us have noticed this, especially like if you're having issues with the tickets, that can be a nightmare sometimes. And as you alluded to earlier, my personal experience recently, I went to my local supporters club, and it was supposed to be that all 5 trophies were supposed to be there. And within minutes of me turning up, I was told by one of the supporters club organisers saying that only 3 of them were actually coming, which was the FA Cup, Champions League, and the Premier League. The other 2 were still in Saudi, or Abu Dhabi, sorry, and they'd only just found out themselves. So it was a bit of a letdown. So there are, like you said before, issues that I think the club could be doing more. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it seems sometimes that they don't really. I mean, we're not the biggest channel, and we never claim to be. You know, there are like Big Steve and some others who have a little bit more access to the club than we do. But from everything you kind of see, sometimes even they only get a snapshot of what's really going on. So I think they could do more. They could do a lot better, especially in certain areas.
No, this I just want to get this out. This is not a local versus global fans debate. Take that out of the equation. It's nothing to do with that right now. I just want to get that out there straight away. Sorry, I'm just closing because I've just got a load of notifications up. There is no debate here about locals versus global fans. We've said 1,000 times we think it's brilliant the global fans are coming in, and we embrace it. But It is the local fans who are getting less prioritised and getting less wanted. I know for a fact that is some of what they're wanting to do. Know that. I'm going on a podcast in March, hopefully, about this. I'm not going to name who and where and how at the moment. I will wait until that's all probably organised out of respect for that person. And I will never divulge who I've spoken to and what that conversation was about. But it shocked me and shocked me to the core. I spoke to 2 people this weekend and very similar things to us there. You saw Big Steve the other day talk about how there was a charity, there was a Kevin De Bruyne charity dinner. I think it was about a month or so ago, or just before Christmas. And people did an auction while they were there, and they bought Kevin De Bruyne signed photos, signed shirts. And Big Steve said he had a friend who paid to become a mascot for a game. He's sent now 10 emails to the club. Not one response. And he's won and paid to be a mascot, his son to be a mascot. No reply from the club. But the money was taken on the night. I know somebody else who bought a Haaland signed shirt for his boy's birthday. Was promised it before Christmas. He's had to cancel it and get his money back because there is no date of when it's ever coming. We're now February the 3rd. There was a supporters branch that was promised the 5 trophies like Aussies were. People queued up outside for 30 minutes. They were told none of them were coming. They were all abroad. The reason why the treble is not is going around England to the local branches and not all 5 is because the Club World Cup and the Super Cup are abroad. It's in Copenhagen at the moment. They're getting all 5. Rich, you got all 5.
Yeah, there was one other reason.
Nobody in the UK is getting all 5.
Is that as I understand it, there are replicas of the treble, and there aren't replicas of. So there's, for example, there's 2 Premier League trophies, 2 Champions League trophies, and they get. I don't know about the FA Cup, but they get potentially able to double up. So the actual competition sponsors, etc., can do something with one without the other. I suspect the other 2 are utilised not only by City but utilised by FIFA and UEFA, etc., and they aren't replicated. So that could well be why you get 3, because that they're able to be utilised as such. It's possible there might even be 3 Premier Leagues, because I'm pretty sure there's always one in the Football Museum, one in the club that has it, and one other with the Premier League. True.
There is no replicas of the Super Cup and the Club World Cup. The point is, don't promise people. They all queue up for 20, 30 minutes outside their supporters branch, and you've seen what you saw in May and June.
Yeah, and that's a classic story of middle management making promises which they don't actually have the authority to.
So this is what I'm saying. This is not a dig at global fans. This is not a dig. What I'm saying is there has to be a balance between fans here and fans abroad. And at the moment, there's no balance. That's not fans abroad. That's the
I don't know if this is. I don't know if it's the whole trophies. It's the whole trophies going around. Was that ever a thing? I never remember hearing about, Liverpool or United or Chelsea doing trophy tours. They did it, yeah. Because I'm now on the open top bus tours, but when I first heard quite a few years ago they were bringing the Premier League to Sydney, I was a bit like, I've never heard of them doing trophy tours or taking trophies to people's houses and all the stuff they do. I thought they just stuck them in a glass cabinet in the Peter Swales' boardroom and they kind of sat
I
there
think
until
can
they got
buy
given
them.
back a year later.
I think the club can buy it.
Oh, they can, yeah, because yeah,
replica.
yeah, because I think they'll have City will have.
There's another story
somewhere
I haven't told
6
anyone
Premier
yet.
Leagues.
Like I said, they signed, and this was off people, and he said it on his show. As you know, there are people who bought them Kevin De Bruyne replica shirts and signed them photos. They had a card machine put under their nose within 30 seconds of buying it. 3 months later, they're still waiting for their delivery. Then we move on to Burnley on Wednesday night. £63 per ticket for an adult seat within the ground. It's cheaper to go and watch Copenhagen in the round 16 of Champions League than it is to go and watch Burnley. With all due respect.
I had a question on that, Martin, that I was listening to someone talk about and saying that, you know, their season ticket, basically what the club do is if you say, I'm not going to go to the game, you effectively tell the club you're not going, and they will take
what you're about to ask,
ticket.
Rich, is 100% yes, but I'll let you.
They take your season ticket down by
1/19th,
and they give you the money. But if they don't sell the ticket, do they still give you that money?
Nope.
Or no? Right. So because I was wondering, like, I understood the 60 quid. If they didn't sell it, the club's taken the risk and they've refunded 40 and they lose $40, 40 quid, sorry. But they're basically reselling it for 20 quid profit. And if they sell it, they gain 20. And if they don't sell it, they lose nothing.
Well, it's like mine. My ticket is £400 a season because I'm a disabled supporter, so I get a disabled price. I can't grumble at season ticket prices. Season ticket prices are the best in the country. They're fabulous. Pat on the back, Manchester City, you deserve it for that. 1,000%. What I don't like is if I sell my ticket, I get like 27 quid, 28 quid, but then they sell it for 3 times that amount nearly. How is that fair? I mean, another story was, like I said, 63 quid minimum. I was sat in that stadium on Wednesday night, as others were. And yes, the weather played a part. I'm not being funny, Rich, and I was there. I could hear the players talking to each other for the first 20 minutes. I kid you not. I could hear Ake talking to the right winger.
I'm not massively surprised, honestly. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a game that nowadays the fans are, it's a game with no real upside because everyone's going in expecting 4-0 win as a basic satisfactory result. I mean, look at even our the discussion you had post match. The main whinging was about the fact we didn't push up the goal difference by 6-7. So even after the game when we've won, fans, a lot of fans were not happy that it was only 3-1 and that we hadn't pushed to the end. I mean, forget the fact that the only reason we win the treble and we're so successful is because we don't go and try and kill ourselves chasing goal difference. We preserve energy and we keep ourselves fit. So, if we're 3-0 up, I want us cruising the rest of the game. That's why we are what we are. But half the fans aren't. I mean, Alan was ranting about it. Should have been 6, should have been 7. Why didn't we try? Why did we let a sloppy goal away? And so if the fans have got that attitude, we don't even, because Vincent Kompany's there, we don't even hate Burnley, as much as a lot of people used to hate them local rivalry. I think a lot of City fans almost, have built a sympathy for them as a club because they've got a lot of, they in some ways are a bit what City were 30 years ago, and we all love Vincent. So, and then you chuck in the crap weather, and it's almost thinking, what would it take to get people happy that night? We'd have to have won 8 or 9 in an exciting game, which is quite hard when you win by 9. And unfortunately, I think and I mean, you must have, I don't know, just being deeply honest about it. I find the season before to December so many games that don't really get the jeopardy up, don't really get you fired up, don't really make you feel, we could lose something here today. Because that's what football is at its best, when you've got jeopardy. If you lose, it's terrible. If you win, it's brilliant. And you think you might lose, you think you might win. You're in doubt, you're excited. And honestly, some of these games, like Burnley, it feels like there's not even a part of me that thinks we're not going to win this game. It's almost like in advance we're going to win, because we're better. The type of team they aren't the type of team who's going to trouble us. We're going to win. The weather's crap. The team are cruising after half an hour because they're sorted. And I do think it's hard to get excited and fired up and get an atmosphere going when those things...
Rich, I totally appreciate that. And by the way, JA, again, with another gifted membership, thank you so much. You are a legend, again, as always. What I will say is, and sub 2 again for his 5 months, well, what I will say is, I understand the light shows are nice for the children. I get it. Personally, my 13-year-old hates them. Doesn't get the point in them, because he thinks it kills. My son wants to sing. He can't sing with loud rave music going on over the background in pitch black. That's not a get up and sing atmosphere sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Because all what that does is encourage everyone to get the phones out. Because everybody films the light show. What we now have, and I don't know if anyone's noticed it on Wednesday night, we now score a goal across the pitch, the long length of the pitch on the top of the floodlights. We now have flashing laser lights that go off when a goal goes in.
And that's all about TV.
What I'm waiting for now is the popcorn and the pom-poms to walk out when we're there. I'm like, what is this? What is the flashy blue lights when we're scoring goals now? Bollocks to them. I don't want flashy blue lights. Because what does it do? Phone out straight away.
I have to say, though, that I think if your biggest gripe is a laser show, then I just don't see. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Martin, but, I think the club are trying to kind of energize the fan base a little bit.
The opposite.
Well, I'm not saying it's working, but what I'm saying is that what they're trying to do is kind of make something more out of what is currently going on. Because I think we can all agree that, as Rich was stating, sometimes the ground is a bit flat, and that may be because, again, the scoreline isn't what a lot of City fans want, because they've got used to us winning 4-5-0. Is it that we've just become too complacent? I also think just sorry, Rich. I also think that the ground doesn't help itself. The ground wasn't built as a football stadium. It was built for athletics. It doesn't keep the sound in. It's not like some of the new stadiums, like, Tottenham's, the new Bernabeu, Dortmund's ground. It doesn't have that. It doesn't keep the sound in. There's something I think needs to be done for our ground, because it just doesn't work. And I know they're going to be working on it. They're currently working on it with all the hotels and the front of the stadium, but that has to be addressed for me, because until you address that, you're not going to get that atmosphere properly.
I think the other problem is, and I think this is a huge, gripe for a lot of older fans. It is that football's changed because the world's changed. Talk about my uncle going in the 50s, and in the 50s, football, was completely male dominated. It was very, very localized, fans nearly all coming from within 5-10 miles. And, it was, not demographically very diverse, and people work together. People work, a lot of the fans worked in factories and whatever else that was together by the thousand, and that's what football was. And nowadays, even as a kid, like at Main Road, it was mainly fans within 10 miles. You weren't a lot of particularly wealthy fans going. It was still quite centered on Manchester. And the truth is now, if you look at the age of fans from the young to the old, and you look at the mix between males and females, you look at the mix between fans from around the country, everything's changed. It's so different. And the trouble is, that means that the clubs serve to one very simple demographic. Even when I was a kid, you go to a pub, and there were probably about 4 times as many pubs then as there are now. You watch the football on a Saturday afternoon, and you go back to the pub, and that was what it's all about. Whereas now, they're at any time of the day, they're trying to cater to wealthy business people doing this, the loyal fans who've been going for 60 years, a fan base of, incredibly diverse in terms of age, gender, everything else. And I think that's one of the problems, is that the club's trying to cater to everyone, and you cater to everyone, you cater to no one potentially, because it becomes impossible. I think, and even like the regularity of a Saturday afternoon, everyone could go to the same pub. Everything could be the same way of getting to the ground. You drove, you parked in the same place, you paid the same kid a quid to mind your car, you walked the same way, you stopped in the same places to eat. Everything was like that. And now, everything's different. And I think the clubs they're trying to cater to everyone, and no one will be happy.
They're not.
No, but I think they are. But I think no one will be happy because the people who were the original fans were 100. They were all there was.
Walking away.
Yeah, of course they are. Because football was
to everyone.
No. But football was 100% catered to them and to us for a century. And
no, I agree.
And it's now not just catered to us. So
I don't think it is balanced. I think it's gone the other way.
Oh no, I think I'm not arguing with that, but I'm saying that I think at the moment no one is happy, because you've got a limited number of tickets, and so everyone who wants a ticket every time can't necessarily get them. You've got the traditional fans who don't get
9,000 seats available 1 hour before Burnley.
That's home game,
9,000,
but not for every home game, and not for away games.
That's a huge amount of tickets available still.
Yeah, but as we said, it's a nothing game.
If that night. Rich, this is my point though. This thing of the club at the minute have got this idea in their head that they can fill a stadium with plain loads of fans like United and Liverpool do. That's what they believe, in my opinion. They believe they can get that.
Yeah, but
we're not there yet.
You see empty seats at Old Trafford.
No,
if United are playing Wigan at home on a Tuesday night and it's pissing it down, you will see empty seats at Old Trafford.
I can't say some stuff that I know on here.
No, but I'm not arguing with you on that, but I'm saying
I know you're wrong. Old Trafford. Why you're wrong?
You're saying that Old Trafford doesn't have empty seats on a Tuesday night.
But I know
Wigan. They do.
I know City are not very different to United at the moment in the way they're thinking.
They're
I'll tell you something.
Dominate the world.
Tottenham, United, Liverpool make more money on a match day than we do.
Yeah, Tottenham make more than anyone. Tottenham make more than anyone.
Chrome, thank you for your 1 month, by the way, mate.
There's an analogy that I'd like to use. Have you ever seen the show Mad Men, or at least know what it's about? So, in the 1950s, companies, advertising companies realised that the people they were looking at was mainly men. Like before the 50s, everything advertisement was catered to men, drinks, cigarettes, you name it. After the war, they realised that women were starting to kind of become more, affluent. They were going out there, they were spending the money. So they realised that they needed to change the way they sold things. And from that point onwards, women became, the targeted audience for advertising because they're the ones with the purse strings, blah, blah. That's how it kind of went. And you see that even still today, where most things are advertised more for women than they are for men. I'm not going down a sexist route here. What I'm trying to say is that the club have realised that they can get more money out of foreign fans than they can the local fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you just said, Martin, when you don't use your ticket and you have to go to the club and say, I can't come, you sell it on, what do? They're more likely to say it to someone who is going to pay more, and that's usually someone possibly from abroad or someone who's outside the area who's willing to pay that kind of money.
I suspect you've nailed the comment there. I suspect it's not about foreign fans. I suspect it's about wealthy fans. They want, no doubt. Yeah, and that, I suspect far more from places like London than overseas.
I was speaking to is, they had someone who they knew who went to the Liverpool game, and they were sat next to a couple of people from abroad, and they said, "Oh, how much did by me asking where you're from and how much did you get your tickets for?" And they spent £200 each on a Liverpool ticket, and they thought that was mega cheap, like mega cheap.
Well, $6,000 to see Messi.
They pay $1,000 for that sort of game, if not more. So they go, how much did you pay? 35 quid on my season ticket. They were shell shocked. My point is, it's a difference in economy. The UK's economy is very different to the rest of the world in a lot of areas, especially the USA and Australia, as you know, Rich. We are not in positions, like I've said before, where we can go in and sit there and negotiate our wage out with our boss and go, right, you want this job? And our boss doesn't sit in interviews and go, how much do you feel you should be getting paid? We get told what we're getting paid, and you tough shit whether you take or you don't take, Rich. As you know, it's a very different economy in the UK. In America and Australia, you can sell yourself, can't you? You can go, well, for my skills, I think I'm worth ba 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 ba. Ozzy can't go into his boss tomorrow and go, I think I'm worth 10 times more than what you're paying me on my skills. The boss would go, by then I'll get rid of you and get someone else in. That's the stark reality of it. So to us, 30, 40, 50, 60, a £60 ticket plus a child that was minimum of 43 quid. That's 103 before you've got going, 108, sorry. Then you're talking food. Then you're talking travel. 3 weeks after Christmas, 150 quid for a night game against Burnley. That's a lot of money to someone in Manchester. And
especially
I understand they're trying to build this global brand, but the name on the tin is Manchester City. If you, what's happening is, Rich, and I said this, there are a lot of match-going fans who've been going for 30 and 40 and 50 years who are ready for walking and not going back.
Tens of thousands have walked already. I mean,
well,
it's
there won't be
all my relatives who had season
tickets.
I think a lot of people walked away with Sky. A lot of people walked away when more than half the games were Sundays and Mondays.
Going back to 1992 now.
The problem is though,
my family walked away from going to City and season tickets 15 years ago because their life was based around playing games at weekends, and suddenly the games were at ridiculous times and just destroyed other parts of your life. Because if you don't know 3 weeks away whether a game's going to be, or 6 weeks, whatever it is, whether it's going to be Sunday, Monday, Friday, you can't plan your holidays, you can't plan other things in your life. And I think a lot of people walked away from football when it stopped being 3 o'clock Saturday. And I think there's a whole host of things that have happened which have made football, in my view, worse, but in other people's view, better. That have changed football, irrevocably, and there'll be more, and people will walk away, and in 100 years'
Rich, if we
time,
get relegated,
we won't
mate,
recognise it.
all right, then I'll put it in the worst case: we get relegated or expelled because we get found guilty. They won't have the foundations of the local fans to build back on there.
If we get relegated, we'll be the biggest story in world football
Right.
for the next year, and we'll have bloody
Rich,
people
someone
coming
from
over from
America
America
not coming to watch City versus Colchester on a Wednesday night. You need to get that in your head right now.
People fly every
Jesus.
weekend to watch Wrexham play against Stockport because
they did on Wednesday night, didn't they, Rich? They did on Wednesday when there was 9,000 empty seats.
But Martin, I don't know what
when I'm sat in the stadium watching it.
I don't know what you're arguing with. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying that
he's absolute claptrap.
I'm saying if we go down, we will be the biggest story in world football for at least a year.
The way where
we'll have a Netflix show, and there'll be people who don't even like football coming over to get on Netflix watching City. It'll be an absolute circus.
And as I was going to say, where your argument falls down, Martin, is only just recent history, where we went and had a game against Spurs, and there were 9,000 tickets on a Friday night with poor public transport, and what happened? All 9,000 tickets were sold, even though we moaned.
It's a disgraceful time.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
We all said how horrible, terrible it was, blah blah. And what happened? They sold every ticket. I know, Mike, but what I'm saying is
very different, Ozza.
It isn't.
You can laugh, but you can, mate. It's very, very different.
How many of those 9,000 don't go to home games?
Go away, mate.
They all go to home games as well.
Some do, some don't. Again, I know people who want to do away and not home.
But what I'm saying, Mike, is that they will still find a way of selling those tickets.
Okay.
And people will buy them.
Yeah, and the problem is, Martin, and this is what, the brutal money reality is, if 8 of those 9,000 tickets are season ticket holders who've paid for those tickets, the club's not losing anything by those being empty seats. The season ticket holders not getting paid the money, which is why I asked you at the beginning, because actually there isn't. City probably lost next to nothing about that. Most of those empty seats are probably paid for last May, and and probably a lot of them didn't think someone was going to go and buy the ticket because it's Burnley on a Tuesday night, and you look at.
By the way, to make this point, because I know some too men, this is not no attack on international fans. I said there should be a balance between the two.
Yeah. And this is the absolute.
The club are pushing local fans away.
Yeah.
They are.
I know this is the reality in every other league in world football except the Premier League. Premier League is the only league that sells out games against rubbish. If you go and look at the Bernabeu,
much appreciated.
Real Madrid in La Liga, if it's not Barcelona or Atletico, you can walk up and buy tickets on the day, and they'll be empty seats. I've been to the Bernabeu. I think it was Atletico Bilbao. You can walk up and get tickets. There's empty seats everywhere. Barcelona will have 30, 40,000 empty seats for an average game.
I'm not.
Juventus will, and that's unfortunate. It's a reality.
That doesn't make it right.
It doesn't, but I'm saying,
Rich, this is the whole point of tonight. I'm saying, what is the prioritize of the club? Is it just to make a shitload of money? Because here's my point, Rich. On any successful level, you need foundations, yeah?
Yeah.
They are killing the foundations at the moment. They are, whether you like it or not. They are.
Yeah, but what do you think City's owners' objectives are?
To make money. I'm not disputing that. To
make money and
have
the name of Abu Dhabi around the world.
So some of us are supposed to sit back And in 2 or 3 years' time, when I've got to pay £90 or £100 a ticket because someone somewhere else will pay that, that means I've got to lose out. That's fair. Because if it wasn't for me and you, Rich, there would be no bleeding club.
No, agree, but I'm not saying
So
it's
I'm
fair.
sorry,
I'm not
Rich,
saying
don't
it's
agree
right.
with it.
I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's the world.
Thank you, Patrick. Patrick gets what I mean. 60 quid for Burnley and Brentford at home on a weeknight when he's paid the same for a UCL knockout match. It doesn't make any sense.
But Martin, what I'm saying is you are not going to get the glory and the trophies without selling your soul. And
Rich,
that is
what have I always said?
And I'm not sure that
you've
said that you don't care about the trophies. Yes, but unfortunately, the minute we sold to Abu Dhabi, they do. That's all they care about.
This is my point, Rich. For me personally, the trophies can go tomorrow for me.
Yeah. So what
I'm
you
not
need
here
is
for trophies, mate.
You
I'm
need,
here out of love.
So you need FC City of Manchester.
That might happen.
It might happen because the reality. It's the same with United. I know a lot of United fans who walked away from going to United when they became what they did in the 90s and 2000s. You know, so it's not only City. I mean, the only club who seem deludedly immune to it are Liverpool, who seem to think they still all wear cobbled shoes and grow up in Bootle.
Mate, how many there was? Trust me, I know.
And
there was a point made earlier, you know, that is this growing pains? Is this, you know, I mean, we have to remember that Manchester City are very successful. Okay, they've come on leaps and bounds from where they were before the takeover, and you have to. We haven't had the fan base like United or Liverpool. You know, we just don't. We have to accept that. That's just the way things are. But with that success has made us fantastic. But the problem is that we haven't got the fans that will come and watch every single game, you know, from other countries or whatever. So we have to accept that it's going to take time for things to move and get better. But I think, you know, Martin makes a point of the club could be doing things better. They could. Yes, you're right, Rich. It's about money. It always is about money because they want to make as much money as they can. But they could be doing things so much better with the communication and helping local fans out more.
Yeah,
you know,
and
I shouldn't be charging 63 quid for Burnley at home on a Wednesday night, Rich.
No, they could charge half of that.
They probably don't care because it's someone else.
No, they don't. That's what we're saying. That's
the
point of tonight's show, Rich. Well done.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, but someone's paid 40 quid for that ticket already, so you know they're not going to sell it for 30 and lose money. Well, they're not going to sell it. Well, of course it is. They're just a reseller for tickets. I mean,
I know, Rich. I get that. And I understand you want Haaland and you want all these players. I understand that. But
I want Carl shut. But anyway,
the point I'm making, Rich, is they will end up pushing so many locals away. The identity will go. You know that.
Many would say the identity. I think many would say the identity's gone.
Maybe it has already gone. Then I don't know because everyone, because 1894 have wheeled in on this. 1894 have begged, as Big Steve and others have all said. They've written to the club and said we want Boys in Blue played out before the game. The reason the light shows came a problem is because you can't sing along with them. Yeah, there was a little bit of the old Kevin De Bruyne, but the trouble is we don't want to sing that when we come out. When the teams come out on the pitch, we want to sing Blue Moon. We want to sing Boys in Blue. We want to sing something that's identified on Manchester City Football Club.
Of course.
Because this is my thing. I know loads of fans who come from abroad and they're coming because they want to see the history, the heritage of the football club. The heritage of the football club is not Kevin De Bruyne. It's Boys in Blue. It's Blue Moon. etc.
Yeah,
They want
100%.
that, Rich. They want that. But do you know what? City don't even want City fans from abroad, Rich. Do you know what they want? They want
Money.
the casual football fan from abroad
They want the money.
that isn't coming there for Manchester City. They're coming there for a day out.
They want money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and this is
That's
this
the
is the
sad
same.
truth here.
Yeah, the sad truth, but it's the sad truth of every single business there is. I may be one of Qantas's most loyal customers, but if there's a great flight on a Friday night and they can sell a seat for $700 that I only want to pay 300 for, I'm not getting near that plane. I could have gone and watched Taylor Swift since she was 17, but if I want to go and see Taylor Swift's latest concert, I'm not getting near it unless I pay $1,000 for VIP. Because the truth is, in every facet of life, capitalism and making money just will trump it, and that's yeah. It's
piss off, Rich. Piss off.
It's true.
You're
So
not in your job.
you've got two
You have to
choices.
say it again.
You've got
Rich,
two choices.
talk as a fan.
You go down the path.
Talk as a
You go
fan.
down. You have two choices.
Aussie,
You
Aussie.
eliminate private ownership of clubs, and
Rich.
you go down a Bundesliga model where
Please.
every club is fan owned, or you put up with it.
Yeah,
because
Rich,
there is no
Rich,
other choice.
Stop. Take the job hat off, please. I beg
It's
you.
nothing to do with the job. This is real world. This is real world. You cannot have billionaires owning football clubs and expect them to not act in the interest of billionaires. You either go down a German path and you have fan-owned clubs, and we all fight to say none of our clubs should be owned by Abu Dhabi or Saudi or FSG or Radcliffe or whoever. They should be owned 50% plus by the fans. Yeah, whatever it is.
Radcliffe,
I can't remember his name. Is it Radcliffe? Radcliffe.
I meant Radcliffe.
Yeah. What I'm saying is football is owned by billionaires who are going to act in the interests of billionaires. So you either get rid of them and you make football a fan-owned thing and you accept that the best players will play overseas because it won't be as wealthy, and you go down that path and you actually create proper football, or you put up with it.
He's on a rant.
You weren't going to rant tonight. You said the voice was bad. AK,
Well,
thank you so much for your $4.99. Legend. I took my mother to see the Magic basketball team. Orlando Magic, I'm presuming. A month ago, I paid $762 for 2 single game tickets. You guys are lucky up there. Depends how you look at it, because your wages over there are very different to our wages, mate. You're not on the equivalent of $5 an hour in your job. A lot of our jobs are, mate. That's the difference. As I've explained this, because I've been to America a lot, I know the difference in the economies.
But Martin, there are tens and tens of millions of Americans on absolutely jackal money who don't get near to going to a sports game in their life.
I
think the difference is that in Britain, poor people can still afford to sometimes go to sport. In America, they've been priced out completely for decades.
Right, Rich,
yeah,
that's fine. Manchester at the minute, Rich, is using food banks at the highest ever rates ever done, mate. Homelessness.
America has homelessness the highest in a century. Martin, Martin, I'm not saying anything you say about the UK isn't true. I'm saying that you are ignoring the immense poverty in America. Britain has 14 million people below the poverty line. That is completely abhorrent. But America has something like 70 million people below the poverty line. So not everyone in America can afford to go to Orlando Magic. Tens, if not 100 million can't.
I went to London a few weeks back. Went in the subway, 8:50 in the morning. There was 150 people in the subway, inch by inch, in a sleeping bag.
In Houston, in New York, in San Francisco, in LA, all that is the same. I'm not denying. UK has poverty at the moment. US. Martin, I've just agreed with you on every point on the UK. I'm saying that you've lost touch with America. If you think that all Americans can afford $700 to go to an Orlando Magic game.
guys, we have slightly gone off piece, and as much as I would love to talk about politics, we could go
I
there
mean,
all
we can
day.
talk politics all day, Rich. But if you want to compare the UK government to the US one, I'll have a field day with you, mate. I'll have a field day with you for 45 minutes if you want to do that. Because I work for the government and I know how bad the government is. And I've seen children, mate, who cannot afford jack shit of clothing, can't afford a shoe or a sock on their foot.
Agree 100%.
Coming in with no food in their bellies into school.
Yes,
Let's
Martin,
not do that,
I agree. I agree 100% that is happening in America too.
Guys, let's just do a little bit more of the football.
Not as high as in the UK, right? I don't think it is. No chance.
Now, you need to go and look into the homelessness in America.
Rich, I work
it is
still,
the worst it has been in 100 years. In America, no.
Well, why did you leave the UK, Rich?
Because I married an Australian.
No, but why? Same way Alan left it. Because even Alan says the economy and the government is the worst thing going around the world.
I'm not going to disagree at all. I do not like the British government. I disagreed with you on America, not on the UK. I fully agree with you on the UK.
No, sub two.
I think you are. I disagree with you on America.
No, sub two. I'm not a City fan because of the Gloria. I'm not saying you are. If City were playing in Division 2 against Boggett Old Clough, I'd be there. There'd be some fans who wouldn't be. I know you would, but there are other fans who wouldn't be there. Same way, if United got relegated to Division 2, I'd say 15, 20,000 of their fan base would walk out the door. Comes in hand. Because City weren't pulling in 54,000 fans when we had Stuart Pearce as boss.
I think you also kind of
43.
I think you also kind of have to look at the way things are realistically. Because I'm going to merge kind of Martin, you, and I'm going to kind of merge Rich as well.
We'll move on to the next one.
We really do need to. But what I'm going to say is that I think football fans, as much as a lot of football fans like yourself, Martin, will kind of moan and complain, you look at what is going on with United and the Glazers, and a lot of their fan base, they try and make protests. They try to say, let's stay out of the ground for the first 10 minutes of the game, blah, blah. And what happens? It all falls apart because people just want to watch the game. Do you know what I mean? So you're both right and you're both wrong on your points. And I think you're both trying to make the same argument, that it's not fair that the way the club currently are acting, I think they could be doing so much more for the local fans and just thinking about what's going on currently in the world, because we are struggling as a society. And I think the club could look at what's going on the ground and go, actually, as a big thank you and just as decent human beings, let's get, lower prices, let's communicate more, whatever. And on that note, I think we should definitely move on.
Right. No, you don't make it. You don't need to apologise, mate. Me and Rich like a little debate every now and again as well. We're all friends. It's just that the UK is very different at the moment. The UK is one of the poorest places on the world right now. My mum and dad are paying nearly £2,000 a month on gas and electric. And they've got Alzheimer's. And they get no help. Tells you everything. We have a free NHS. Don't even start on that because Aussie will start World War III. So we don't want to go down that road.
That's not. Really not.
125 good tickets here. They're good tickets. That's my thing, Rich. We get lower wages. That's the point you forget. We get lower wages. Our wage line is a lot lower. Right. Go on, Ozzy. You do the next one. Oh, Rich, one of you just did Klopp.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Clifford,
Yeah, you're a legend. Thank you so much, mate.
I've got a public announcement on Jurgen Klopp.
Oh,
So
No,
this
he's
is
going
an
to public
announcement to
on the UK
all,
government.
and now, oh, don't even mention to them. I mean, they're like even more annoying than Klopp and more incompetent. But for the next 6 months, there is going to be.
I agree with that, Rich. By the way, there shouldn't be any
free
public
newspaper. There's going to be free newspaper pullouts every day. There is going to be talk about, is Jurgen Klopp the greatest Premier League manager, the greatest humanitarian, the greatest manager, possibly the greatest person ever to live on this planet. There are going to be decisions at Anfield where blatant Liverpool handballs, fouls, or blatant fouls on opponents are going to be totally ignored. And everything in the media is going to be about how Liverpool are on for the quad and they have the best player in every single position. And this is going to lead to probably some nausea problems amongst other fan bases, particularly Cities and to a degree Arsenal's, who are going to have to put up with this. So you're going to have to put up with it. But the good news is that at the end of it, all those Liverpool quad T-shirts are going to be thrown in the bin. City are going to win the league and win the quiet treble. And Liverpool are going to have to explode in a burst of indignity that their Carabao Cup win is a really successful season, and that Jurgen Klopp, even though he will have ended his Liverpool tenure with 3 titles in 24 years, he's won the league three times in his managerial career is now 24 years. They will be using some maths formulas to try and convince you that winning 3 in 24 is better than winning 12 in 15, which a certain other manager will probably have done by the end of this season. So get ready to suck it up, and you're going to have to put up with it, but there will be a happy ending.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Rich.
Rich is leaving the Mancunian way next week to become a politician.
Rich.
I'm starting to think Alan was actually I'm thinking it was a great idea. Alan did pull out tonight.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Blimey, can you imagine if we'd have got him on about the last subject? Jeez.
Yeah, because Alan and me are complete political opposites. So he would
probably leave the UK though because of that. He told me.
Yeah, he would have probably wanted to defend the UK government though.
Klopp's in Pep's shadow.
Unlike me, he despises them.
Do you think if Pep was leaving, he would get the adulation that Klopp's going to get?
No other club has this nonsense other than Liverpool. Even Klopp will get more than Fergie because it's a Liverpool thing. Klopp will get more adulation than Fergie. Yeah.
If you come from
Klopp will get
anywhere in the Liverpool area,
Klopp will get more than Fergie, and that you just got to put up with it. Partly because of social media, because it didn't exist really in 2003, but 2013, sorry, in the same volume it does today. But yeah,
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you, Rich. Only slightly. I think I'm gonna give Klopp a little bit more respect because when you look at it head to head, okay, Klopp is the only manager that's really outdone Pep when it comes head to head against each other. He has won more matches against Pep. That argument can't really be disputed.
Yeah, but you want to win wars. You want to win wars. You want to win wars, not battles. And Pep's won nearly every war.
I'm not going to disagree here. The trophy list speaks for itself. Okay. I think what you can say about Klopp is, and like I said, this is where I give him the respect. Okay, because most of the last few seasons, Liverpool have pushed City, and it's made us better. You know, the rivalry between Pep and Guardiola, and I know we don't get the same kind of antics that you saw with certain other managers.
The rivalry between Pep and Guardiola, that would be a brilliant one. The internal battle in his head.
But it is. I think there's a lot of respect between Pep and Guardiola.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Unlike a certain
and
Chelsea manager and a certain Arsenal manager, who had massive arguments on the pitch and near enough, went to blows. I think you're right, Rich. I think mentally is that battle between Pep and Klopp. They're battling each other on how to outdo each other. And Klopp has won more battles, but Pep has obviously won the wars more. And I think that's how you can look at it. But like I said, I will give Klopp his due because he has transformed that Liverpool side. When he came into the league in 2015, you only have to look at the squad that he inherited, and it took. And what were they? Was it 10th or 11th in the league at that point? To get them from that point to where they are, and they have spent money, but they definitely haven't got the resources that City have spent. They have spent wisely on some players, and they've turned some average players into very, very good players. So I think you can't. No, and I'm not. What I'm saying, Martin, is I'm not gonna completely say. What I'm trying to say is that for me, obviously, Pep is the better manager. But what I'm saying is that Klopp is a very good manager in his own right. What he's done for Liverpool Football Club is you can't disrespect. He has pushed them and made them so much better, and he's made that battle between him and Pep to make Pep better. It's pushed Pep so much harder than he's probably ever worked when he was at Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I think, and that is why I give him the respect that he has made the challenge of winning the Premier League a lot more challenging. I was looking back, and actually, we've only ever faced them once in the Champions League. And I think if we'd have faced them more often in the Champions League, I would have loved to have seen those battles and who would have come out on top.
Thank you, Chromabis, for that.
We're never going to see that now. But
can I just pull you up on something? How's that? You said Klopp's always had the better of Pep generally. In what way? Because it's generally 50-50.
Yeah.
When you look at the record, it's split down the middle.
It is 50-50. But that seems like it's like Spurs results says we feel that Spurs have this amazing record.
We've got the record in front of me, and Klopp's won one more game than Pep. That's it.
But that because Pep dominates everyone else, it seems a lot more dramatic because Pep dominates everyone else. So even being level with Pep is an immense achievement. And Ozzy, I'm not belittling.
Calm down in the comments. We moved on. Respect everyone's opinions. Come on. I know everyone's got different opinions, but let's respect everyone's opinions. We don't attack people in comments. Come on.
But
if you look at the actual record, is Jurgen Klopp's got 12 wins, Pep's got 11 wins, and they're drawn 6 times.
Yeah. And if you take out friendlies, I think it's actually isn't Pep ahead excluding like Charity Shield type games. But that does look dramatic. As I was saying, Martin, it's like our record against Spurs. Our record against Spurs is good. We beat them more than they beat us in the last 20 years. But we feel like it's terrible because they do beat us more than most.
See, I'll be honest with you. Is Klopp a good manager? Yes. Is he this all singing?
He's a very good manager, Martin. I don't think we can. Yeah, I don't think you can deny that he's not a very good manager.
I think he's a good manager. Yeah, is he one of the world's best? I don't think so. No.
I think he is.
I think he's
today.
One of the, yeah.
I think he is today.
I think he's
one of the best ever.
Not good at all.
Yeah,
but if Pep had done that, we'd be demanding him out the door.
Yeah, I know, but there's an expectation.
He is against Pep. He is against Pep.
The expectation at Liverpool's far greater than it is at City, Ozzy. Far greater.
No, but I think what you have to remember is that they hadn't won a Premier League in 30 odd years. You know, so for Klopp to be able to actually win the Premier League, they were so happy. And he you know, yes, he's not won the amount of trophies that Pep has, but
So
he
if
has.
Arteta would have won the league last year, would he have been up there with Klopp?
I didn't hear you. Sorry, never mind.
If Arteta had won the league last year, or wins it this year, is he up there with Klopp and Pep?
No, because that would be his first win.
But he's won them a league for the first time in 20 odd years.
Yeah, but he hasn't won them a Champions League and the other cups, and he hasn't won leagues in other countries.
No, when I say not a good manager, I'm talking world class. I think world class managers, there's only a small bracket in there. I think Klopp's a good manager. Is he world class?
I don't think
not in my eyes.
I don't think we'll ever know, because the problem with Klopp, and the problem for Klopp is that the last.
That's a great point. Ranieri won it for last year. God knows how many years he's up there.
The last 12 years.
Time in 100 years.
The last 12 years, Klopp has gone up against Pep. Pep's probably the greatest manager who's ever played the game. And so by going against him and going against him in Germany and England, and I do think one thing that Klopp deserves respect for is that he could have run away to Spain or run away to France or run away to gone back to Germany when Pep left. Klopp has actually decided to go head to head against the greatest manager or greatest coach, I'll say, there's ever been. And I've got no doubt he could have a lot of trophies if he hadn't taken that decision.
Question: when did Klopp join?
2015.
9 years
2014, 15.
2014.
Yeah,
so
9 years ago, yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How many domestic trophies do you think he's won?
He's won the Premier League,
won 3 proper
the
ones,
FA Cup,
right?
The League
Carabao Cup.
So in 10 years,
Charity Shield.
He's won an FA Cup. Yeah, take Charity Shield out because I'm not putting them in with Pep either. He's won an FA Cup, 1 Carabao Cup, and a Premier League. Pep's won all of that 7 months. That's just job. What he's won at Liverpool, Pep's done in 7 months. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's because
Martin, the argument.
That's because he's going up against Pep.
Yeah,
no one can say without being absolutely ridiculous.
I'm asking, is his trophy haul that good?
No, Martin, but we're not comparing the. I'm not comparing, like as Rich alluded to earlier on. You know, it's not about the overall wars that have been won, because hands down, Pep has got the better trophy cabinet compared to Klopp. No one can dispute that. Not even Liverpool fans can dispute it. Okay, what we're saying is that Klopp has a degree of, he has made Liverpool into a fighting force that has challenged Pep and has run them very, very close for the last 5 seasons. You know, there's no denying that when he goes up against Pep, he is battling and he's lost most of the wars against him, but he's challenged him to the point of that you can't deny that.
He lost most of the wars, has he? I swear, I don't know where you're getting this most of the wars. It's level playing field.
No,
but he's lost. Yeah, Pep's beaten Klopp in all those. But I guess put it a different way.
No, what I'm saying, somebody just said Klopp beaten Pep most of the wars. He hasn't.
No, he's beaten him in battles. He's not won any of the wars.
He's only
lost every war except the COVID war.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
I think, and controversial statement, this will upset the rags who watch the show, but if there are any, I think that Klopp's Liverpool team is the second best team, or arguably the third best if you count City's team of the 18, 19, 17 as different to the one of today. But this current City team from Pep's era is by far the best team, or by far the 2 best teams the Premier League's ever seen. After that, I think Klopp's Liverpool team is the next best team the Premier League has seen. And I think if that Klopp's Liverpool team was going up against United's, they would have won a lot more titles. And I think the reason they haven't is because they're up against the greatest coach and the greatest team English football has ever seen. And so I'm kind of surprised Klopp decided to stay and fight that and not go off to Spain, where he could have probably got the Real Madrid or Barcelona's manager and probably have 5 or 6 titles by now, because I think he's a good coach. And he's been brave or stupid enough to stay and fight Pep in England when he was never going to win, because Pep is better. And so his trophy haul's not great, but I think that's because of Pep. I think it's because of Pep.
He's wanting to.
If Pep wasn't here, Martin, I think Klopp would have won.
He'd have 5 titles. He'd probably have 5 titles now.
Yeah.
No, United and Arsenal would have won some as well.
You reckon? United have been the best.
Yeah, because I showed you the table.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen the table.
I
know the shows we did when I put the table up and who would have won if it hadn't been set.
I know. What I'm saying though, Martin, is I think I agree with Rich. The 2 best teams that have been over the last decade is Liverpool and City. They have been. Klopp has built a team that has challenged and has made life difficult for Pep. He hasn't
made life difficult for Pep last year.
No. You really think Arsenal made it difficult for Pep last year?
Well,
I don't see
the league until April. Whenever
I know,
but they bowled it.
It was a bit like a horse race.
See, this is what we're doing. This is what I mean. I get it, and maybe it's me, but you can't then discredit what Arsenal did last season, but praise Klopp like he's some sort of Lord Messiah because he's won 6 trophies.
I'm not saying he's
in a title race, because then Arteta needs to love them.
No, I'm not putting Arteta anywhere close to the levels of Pep.
Arteta pushed us.
No, he didn't.
Not like Klopp.
Not like Klopp.
Jesus.
Not like Klopp.
If Arsenal had not been top of the league for 85% of the season, we would have won the league.
Martin,
I know, but we won the
Arsenal
league
have done
with
it
games
once.
to spare, not minutes
Arsenal have done it once.
Yeah.
Klopp has done it over the last 5-6 seasons. Arteta
No,
has done it once with Arsenal. Yes, he has, Martin.
No, he hasn't. Where did he finish last season?
I'm not talking about last season. I'm talking about the last 5
Didn't get
seasons.
Champions League. Pep would be on it. Pep would be on P45.
But no one's saying Klopp's anywhere near as good as Pep.
Far too much credit on Jurgen Klopp.
I think honestly, Martin, by taking away that from Klopp, you're taking away a lot from Pep.
No. Listen,
I think Pep is better than you think he is, and so is Klopp.
No, Rich, you're not listening. I agree, he's a good manager, but this rival down, grovel at his feet, the greatest thing to go up against Pep, for me, is a lot of BS.
I don't think me or Rich has said that. No, we're not saying that he's
the Scouts media. Honestly,
what Arteta did was the same as Liverpool virtually, but Arteta didn't get any credit in Liverpool.
No, Arteta bottled it, and we won with 3 games to spare.
So Liverpool not bottle it then?
Well, I don't think they did in 19. I think Liverpool put up the greatest challenge to the title.
Perspective of what's bottle and what isn't bottle.
No. I think 19 in the history of the game will go down as the greatest season of 2 great teams going head to head.
Okay.
And I think City had to win 14 games on the trot to win the league. We'd have dropped 1 point in that time. If we'd have dropped 1 point in that time, Liverpool would have won the league. So I don't think there has been, and against, I know Liverpool technically never went top, but they were a goal away when we were playing Villa from being top of the league and 10 minutes from winning the league. So I think that's undoubtedly a harder challenge. The only other really hard challenge we had was
who came second last year, Rich?
2012.
Who came second last year, Rich?
There was a massive gap. There was just a big gap. And then couldn't see in the distance who was second last
Jesus
season.
Christ, oh my God, this loving.
We were playing.
Amazes me. You like Sky Sports, you two. What the Messiah? He's done jack shit in 10 years, but let's bounce him in.
Well, no, I don't think you can say
spent 600 million or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, they all came in from Liverpool's academy. I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
Virgil van Dijk was chopping it around the old.
So what are you?
That's exactly what we said, Martin.
Martin, what you're saying is that Pep just got lucky because he was up against journeyman and anyone could have come and done what Pep
I'm not saying that, Rich.
Greatest coach there's ever been. And
Claudio Ranieri.
Whether we like it or not.
What happened, Rich? And I was like, Claudio Ranieri won the league with Leicester in Pep's first season. Where was Klopp then?
Got no idea. Probably in Bootle with his mum. With his dad. I mean, he's like, he's.
You piss off saying that.
Yeah. I think the fact is that Leicester was an anomaly.
Arsenal was an anomaly, but Klopp's amazing.
No. Leicester were a relegation team the season before, and they've since gone down. They were an anomaly. Arsenal have improved from being a top 5 contender to a top 3 contender or something under Arteta. But I think you're belittling Pep by not.
I'm not belittling Pep.
I think you are. No, I think you're not accepting Pep's genius.
He's a good manager. Is he world class? No.
Listen, I think, Martin, when it comes to when eventually Pep leaves City, I think when everyone's rose tinted glasses come off, and people look back, I think people will not turn around and go, Klopp is better than Pep. I think the argument will be Pep is definitely the better manager because he won so much more and had so much more success than Klopp. But at the moment, there are going to be those romantics. There are going to be those kind of deluded Liverpool fans. And me and Rich are not turning around and saying we're deluded by him. What we're saying is that he pushed Pep to make him a better manager. He has run City to where it's been, as Rich was saying, very close. And that is why I'm saying that I think some respect has to go on Klopp and the Liverpool side that he's produced, because where they were when he first came in to where they are now is so much better for them. Klopp has transformed that Liverpool side and made them so much better. I'm not saying he's better than Pep, he's nowhere near it. But what I'm saying is that he has definitely come into the league, and between the two of them, they have made this league so much better. And I think that is why I give Klopp some respect. He doesn't have my admiration. I don't think he's the second coming, but
not even close.
No, not even close.
There's only one coming.
Wenger and Mourinho above him. I was watching that AFTV thing, and I put Wenger and Mourinho above Klopp.
I don't know about Wenger. Mourinho, you have to, because Mourinho's won the title in.
I mean, I think Wenger get my words out tonight. Revolutionised football at the time, and I think Mourinho did it, and then Pep did it again.
Yeah, I think Klopp. I think Klopp is very.
Do you know what?
Wenger's a good comparison.
Do you know what went down in my estimation with Klopp a little bit? And again, I still think he's a brilliant manager. Is last season when I saw him start copying Pep's tactics, when he started with entrenched into midfield, I'm like, there's no originality there at all from you, Sunshine. You're just looking at your opponent's mass paper and copying it. And that's all he's done. He's copied it.
There's
no originality.
There's no denying.
People say that about Pep and Cruyff. But
yeah.
I think you adapt.
Pep's tiki-taka, come on, Rich.
Yeah, but I think no one's
denying.
All
based on Cruyff's philosophy and Cruyff's.
Yeah. Listen, no one's denying.
Your Liverpool shirts in a minute.
No one's denying. No one's
denying.
TREBLE,
you're a legend for gifting 10. Thank you so much.
definitely. There's no denying that between the two, okay, Klopp just doesn't. Klopp is nowhere near the better man, the better coach compared to Pep. I think what Klopp has done is, and we've seen this because I think he did it the season before last, is he's run those Liverpool players into the ground. That is what Klopp does. He motivates his team and runs them into the ground until they're broken. And that is what happened to them last season because he'd run them the season before into the ground and they felt the consequences for that. So you're right, Martin. Like between the coaching styles, Pep is so much better. But what I'm saying is that Klopp has managed to push his team so much that he's made Pep better. And that's why I give him the respect.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I think it's a brilliant point on Arsene Wenger is that Wenger and Klopp are going to end up with very, very similar records. Wenger, I think, won 4 titles in 35 years. Klopp will probably end up with something like that. Wenger went up against Ferguson, who was the best manager of his era by a mile, and Klopp's run up against Pep, who's the best manager coach of his era by a mile, and both chose to stay running against him. And I think Wenger could have gone and taken on a job in Spain or somewhere else and won many, many titles. Klopp probably could too. And I think at the end of it, they're going to be enigmas in the sense that they're going to be people who are seen as great managers, but they're going to be seen as great managers for generally being second best to an even better manager. And at the end of it, Wenger probably transformed football a bit more with the off the field stuff like that, but he never won a Champions League, which Klopp has got. Klopp won the league in 2 big leagues. Wenger only really did it in 1, unless you're going to count France. So I think Klopp is the Wenger of his generation, and Pep is the Ferguson of the generation, and Mourinho kind of slid between the two. And Mourinho, because he was the character he was, never stayed anywhere a long time. He brought short-term success to 5-6 different clubs, and he won the Champions League with 3 different clubs, and he did change things. But I think Mourinho's in this category. I'd say Wenger and Klopp, they are the same. Ferguson and Pep, and Mourinho is somewhere in between as some sort of short-term gun for hire who achieved amazing short-term success.
I agree. I totally agree.
And he's above Wenger and Klopp, but below Pep and Fergie.
Yeah, I think the problem, like you said, with Klopp, I think he bought into this loving that Liverpool have. I think that if he'd have moved on a couple of seasons ago and gone to Real Madrid when they were calling, I think he would have had a lot more success. But he decided and he stayed, burnt himself out, and realised, because the reports have come out that last season he was really for walking, that he wasn't going to continue. But he stayed, and he's realised now that he can't keep up with Pep. He can't keep going. Do you know what I mean? So he is conceded because he knows he is the Arsene Wenger of this generation.
I like that. Conceded. By the way, we've only got 87 likes on 131. Let's try hit a big 100 while we're live. So
get those likes up.
13 of you have just got to hit that big like button. I think Patrick makes a great point. Then we will move on to Brentford because I know it's getting late. Respect what Klopp has achieved, but he's never defended any trophies he's won. This is what, like I said, I think he's a very good manager. I think he's falling down in the world-class area for me and up there with Pep because he's never defended anything. He's never gone on. He's like the nearly man. And at the minute, Arteta's following suit. So I'm like, this is why I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it. And I know the media and Liverpool will talk about Klopp when he leaves, that like he's some sort of second coming of world football.
Yeah, but Arsenal fans do it about Wenger. They still do it about him. and they will. And after he goes, they will
By the way,
still
I
go on
haven't got
about
serious
Klopp.
to throw on that.
I
when
still
an
do it
Arsenal
about
fan
Brian
says to you
Horton,
next-
Ozzy.
You know when an
We know,
Arsenal fan
Rich.
says to you next about the gold trophy that they won? Yeah? The invincible gold trophy. Just say to them, City have a gold trophy, so European one. Because we went undefeated to win the Champions League. But no one ever talks about it. Have you ever heard
No, but
of Manchester
I
City
think
going undefeated to win the Champions League?
you
Diabolic.
just
Yeah, but
you
we didn't
just
get the
have to.
gold trophy, did we?
No,
It's a
that's
sad
what I mean.
thing.
I want a gold trophy, thank you.
It's a sad thing that we
Should
just
paint
have
it,
to.
Martin?
It's the media is still full of Liverpool lovers, so everything
99p.
is
It'll
blown up.
always be 99p.
Everything is blown up at Liverpool. Everything is blown up about Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, we joke about it, but we had to put up with in 18-19 and things like that the fact they had the best fullbacks in the world, the best centre back in the world, the best holding midfielder in the world. I still remember those arguments about how much better Fabinho was than Rodri, the best player in the world in Salah, the best manager in the world in Klopp, the best atmosphere in the world at Anfield. And that's just the media narrative, and we have to accept that. Now, we know that there's loads of tourists at Anfield and they have to play cassette recordings of fan noise to even get the atmosphere.
Not going that
going
far,
up the
Rich.
field.
Jesus, you're attacking them all now.
We know that Klopp's won 3 titles in 25 years and that isn't completely elite. We know that Trent can't defend.
Whoa, no,
we
you're
know
not
that
doing
Fabinho's
that.
been written off.
You are 180 U-turning quicker than a submarine here, Sunshine. Stop it.
And
Don't think you're doing this all of a sudden.
That's the media.
That's you. Richard Williams.
That's the media.
You turn quick.
You ignore that. No, I think Klopp built the second best team in Premier League history.
Andrew's opinion.
But
I don't agree with it, but Andrew's your opinion, mate. And that's what we love here on the channel. Pepper's a unicorn. No one's compared to. Right, let's move on. Brentford, Monday night. Honest opinion, everyone's fit. I think we're smacking them 3-0. Arrogant, cocky, I know. I don't care. We're winning 8 in a row. 9 out of 10 undefeated. Yeah.
I think City will be really, really fired up for Brentford. I think Pep will have been into the team all week about how Brentford did the double last season, how Brentford are the best team in world football because they did the double over the treble winners, how they dominated. And to be fair, they weren't lucky. They deserved their win, especially at the Etihad. I know the one away was a bit of a reserve team and we were chilling out because we
won at home. They were on the World Cup. They were on the World Cup.
Well, yeah, there was some truth in that.
Andrew, don't start. No, we're not talking Tottenham 5-2 or Everton 4-0.
Can't we just talk a little bit about Peter Beagrie, Welsh, Ross Quinn,
love a bit of Peter Beagrie.
Peter Beagrie. I love the way he could beat the same man 6 times and get tackled on the 7th.
No, that was
so good.
Frank Clark, stop taking the piss, Steve.
No, you
domestic
stop
travel.
boring everybody with dinosaur stories.
Brian Horton, a gentleman, a genuine legend of football.
I'll slide back. You two talk about your dinosaur stories.
Ozzy's all right paying £800 to go in the ground. Right, go on. Right, Brentford, what are you thinking?
I think we'll go really hard first half. We'll close the game down by half time and then we'll cruise and loads of people will whinge that we didn't push for goal difference. I think it'll be a bit like, a slightly more aggressive version of the Burnley game.
Ozzy?
Yeah, they're not coming into this game well, are they, to be honest?
Ivan back.
They've only won 1 of 5.
2-1 on to score, I've heard.
That'd be about 100 to 1 on in the 88th minute.
Put a 5 on it. Sorry, small joke. Little pun.
No. God.
Sorry, that was a proper dad joke, that one, it. All right,
Yeah.
carry on. Tumbleweed. We need to get a tumbleweed thing going here. Go on, Ozzy.
Especially when you go into your dinosaur stories, yeah, we really do need a tumbleweed.
If we ever go back to doing watch-alongs when we score a goal, we should get a T-Rex coming out screaming at the screen with like my face and Richie's face doing T-Rex.
Yeah. I'm actually about to start reading Brian Horton's book, actually.
Right, come on, no, Rich, let's get to Brentford. Jesus. I know you've not been able to speak for 3 weeks. Come on.
Yeah. I've said I think it's going to be a cruise. I think we're going to go out hard. We're going to have it won by half time. And then we're going to cruise in the second half, conserving our energy. And cruise, yeah.
But you know, Rich will be, why don't we go for 4, 5, and 6?
It will, but we're resting.
Rich,
players
you made a very, very good
conserving their energy.
Oh, by the way, just before I've got everyone on, we are going to do the prize draw in about 5 minutes. So we'll do the monthly for January. So anyone who's a member will be included in the prize draw. Don't forget as well, you get 10% off. You scan the QR code, you go straight to savageonlinestores.co.uk, and if you type in these words, Manway, all in capitals, you get 10% off from all your football luxury needs. Get a cup of Alan's face if you want. Get a cup of Ozzy. Don't get rich on your mug, Jesus.
No, it just
turn your milk sour. Back. Anyway.
Right.
No, I think you made a good point, because I honestly think the reason why I said this, I think it's so clever management at the minute that we can get 3 up, take our foot off the pedal, and then when Liverpool and Arsenal are playing this, let's go for it. And then they're knackered by April and May, and we've still got 3/4 of a tank still to go.
Yeah.
I think it's clever management.
I think it's brilliant management, and I think, honestly, that is the biggest gap between the quality of Pep and the quality of Klopp, because Pep realised in about, I think probably he realised that after we lost to Chelsea in the final, but maybe he realised before that, he realised that Premier League teams have 38 hard league games, they have cups, they have everything, and that the Premier League teams reach the end of the season knackered. And he realised to win the Champions League, he had to change the way City played before Christmas so that we conserved energy. He had to not bring players back quick from injury, bring them back really slowly and do things differently. And so I think we saw 2 years ago with that, when Liverpool were going to win the quadruple and, just fell over at the end and won 2 domestic cups. Liverpool were knackered because Klopp did not know how to rest, rotate and keep fit. And even last season, I think we were slightly off the boil by the last couple of games. Even with, Pep's brilliance, we hit our peak probably at Real Madrid at home was probably our peak performance.
No,
Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal, but we hit our peak more March, April.
What would you say, Bayern?
Yeah.
Bayern,
yeah.
By the way, the price of membership, Kyle, never changes. We charge one price, 99p. It will forever be 99p. We'll never not be 99p. We'll never not go up. We'll not go down. 99p. And it's a contribution towards your channel and puts you in the prize draws at the end. Got to read this out by Andrew. Are we worried about Tony? He's very dangerous. I bet he'll be up for it. Sorry, Andrew. They didn't want to laugh.
It was another dad joke. I'm sorry, but we've already had one from mine tonight. So,
I'm sorry.
One a night.
Is it being a dad or is it being knowledgeable, Ozzy? You'll get there eventually. 2-0 win domination against Brentford. Rich, will you get out the comments?
But it's Brian Horton.
No, out of the comments.
You just can't keep them out.
Naughty.
Nostalgia. When football used to be football. Wins used to be
Haaland. Would anyone
exciting.
start Haaland?
Well, you've got to
When's
start
the
him
next
eventually.
game after it? When's
Pep
the next
said,
game after it?
Pep said it's very different to KDB's injury.
We're on Saturday. It's Saturday night, isn't it, Everton?
No, lunchtime, 12:30.
Oh yeah, it is.
I've been going checking like I tell lies on this shit.
No. I thought it was a late night one, but okay, yeah. No, you're right, Martin.
I don't know because I have to pay for the car park. Well, I don't pay for it, it's free. Sorry. Yeah. And the club do look after me in that aspect. I am disabled. They look after me. I can't go into that.
So ungrateful.
I mean, it's a hard one, really.
Because here's the thing.
Maybe
does Alvarez deserve to be dropped?
I think maybe Haaland suits Brentford.
I don't think Alvarez deserves to be dropped, but he does need a rest.
I think. See, I don't care. I honestly think now with Alvarez, I don't think it matters what form he's in, or if he's tired or not tired. I think Alvarez is about to have a bit of a stint on the bench. Maybe for the rest of the season. I don't know, depending on how we roll. Because Haaland's going to be number one.
Well, yeah, of course, Haaland's number one. That hasn't changed since they both came.
What I would love is, it's even harsher this, but I probably wouldn't have KD, I wouldn't have Kovacic and Nunes in the starting 11. And that is really harsh.
Would you have Bob?
No. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm struggling on the Bob. Because here's my thing on Bob. Sam Lee come out. They were after Kimmich. We told you here first in the Mancunian way. Joking. Musiala talks about Savio. Where's Bob fitting?
I think Bob, fighting for game time. I think Savio will be 12, 18 months before he's playing really regularly. So I think having Bob,
what do you mean? Playing
I think
regularly
Doku's still raw. I think having Savio, Bob, and Doku competing with each other for
what about Grealish?
Regular place. I think Grealish should play more because I think he's that kind of established link. So I think his form's consistent.
Bob's going to end up right into a Cole Palmer situation.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Martin, we're going to be playing more games as we talked about only a few weeks back. But with more games comes more opportunities.
I do see Bob though. I do see Bob as a little bit more of a pet player than Palmer. Just the way Bob moves in the space, that kind of, he's a bit more like that little midfielder that Pep loves. He's a lot more like that than Palmer. Palmer's just a bit more direct, a bit more, perhaps a bit more risk taking. He's got things that are probably greater strengths than just his simple passing. Bob's a bit more of a simple Pep footballer than Palmer. And I think that's why he stayed.
The problem is, I was reading through it. You're going to end up with Savio, Oscar, Bob. Echeverry's one going to need to come in at some point, unless you just wasted your money on him. They're looking at Kimmich, they're looking at Paqueta, they're looking at him, they're looking at somebody else. You've still got KDB, Foden, Bernardo Silva, by the way, Nunes and Kovacic.
Yeah.
You can't have 11 midfielders.
But I think by the time that Echeverry's ready to play, by the time Echeverry's ready to play in the Prem,
it will be by the time players up then.
Martin, by the time Echeverry's ready to play for City, we will have lost De Bruyne, we'll have lost Bernardo, we'll probably have lost Kovacic. Sorry? I know, but I don't think Echeverry's going to be playing in the Premier League. Even if he works and it's the right thing, I think it'll be 2 to 3 seasons before he's playing in the Premier League.
He's a lot younger than
Alvarez. He is 2 or 3 years younger than Alvarez, and he looks about 5 years younger. I think you'll be talking.
He's only 17.
26, 27, 28. Yeah.
Okay, well, he's only just turned 18.
26. So that'll be a year left because what's De Bruyne got? Another year left. He's going to sign a new 2 years. So he's got 3 years. So 2020.
Yeah, and De Bruyne's not going to be playing that much when he's in his last year. He'll be like Fernandinho in his last season. He'll be easing out.
Plus, Bernardo Silva will be at the door either this summer or next. You know, that's one player.
Kovacic isn't going to be here in 4 years' time.
No, you can't sell Grealish Sylvia because then you've got no homegrown players and you've got to have homegrown. You can't just ditch Grealish out the door.
No, they're not.
Not when you've also sold Calvin Phillips at the same time.
I think you keep Grealish because he's something different.
And I agree. I just think you've also got that homegrown element, and then because we'll have nobody homegrown if we start getting rid of them all like that.
I think that's why you want to keep that core of Bob and Foden and Lewis, and you want to keep, and I do think you want to have some of those academy players making it just to show the academy what they can do. And I think they'll probably want Savio to come and do it because they'll want to show.
I think it's hard.
They'll want to show that the City Football Group can work.
I think it's hard.
Plus, Martin, you talk about City looking at other players like the likes of Kimmich and stuff. Yeah, they're looking at these players, but in all honesty, as I said to you, earlier on the transfer window in January, I never saw it happening, and I still don't see it happening.
So, who do you think is signing in the summer then, Elsa?
I'm not 100% sure yet who we're going to sign, but I very much doubt it's going to be Kimmich. I think he stays at Bayern.
No, so he's not Kimmich. It'll be Paqueta then.
I'm not even sure Paqueta will come through the door.
But you're not signing anyone then, really?
I didn't say no. I'm not saying anybody is not going to come through the door. But there are certain deals that I just think sometimes it just don't happen.
No, but I'm asking your opinion. What sort of a player do you think they're going to get then?
I think the problem is for both and for Martin and Ozzy. I think the problem is that Bernardo is a phenomenal player, and I think we are permanently having someone on standby to join in case Bernardo goes. So I don't think for a second we'd sign Kimmich and Paqueta if Bernardo's staying. But I think we're preparing who do we sign to replace Bernardo, because Bernardo is a genuinely world-class footballer. Bernardo is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League's history. He's probably one of the most underrated footballers English football has seen, bar, I think in some ways David Silva by fans of non-City fans was underrated.
Somebody unsubscribed from us.
Bernardo is
unsubscribed while we've been live.
Bernardo, probably me by accident. Bernardo is phenomenal, and when he goes, we're going to have to spend 100 million.
No, but again, I just want what sort of a player do you think we'll buy in the summer then?
Depends on Bernardo.
Yeah, I agree with Rich. I think it depends on Bernardo, but I also think, we talked about it before, where we worry about Rodri, and I think we're going to buy one of those players that can play both positions.
That's
Kimmich. Can do a 6 and an 8. I don't think it'll be Kimmich, if I'm honest. I think it'll be somebody else. I don't know who that player is currently, but as you said, City are looking at their options.
No, the players is that all the rumours have been, and everyone said they basically have to 2 midfielders, which is a lot, still a lot, 2 midfielders. You then bring in Savio. That's another winger. Plus, with all the other wingers you've got and midfielders you've got, that's where I see Bob struggling. That's all I'm saying. We've done this with Cole Palmer, player that, he's going to come in, he's going to do this, going to do that. And even Pep said himself last week or the week before, ask me again in a year's time. We've been down this road before with Cole Palmer.
Yeah, and
I totally agree. Knocks on my door in a year and goes, I want to play. I have no choice.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you, Martin. It could happen. It could happen that Bob leaves in a year or two. As you just said, these things happen. We have to accept that we're not going to keep all of our, academy players. Some are going to go, and a lot have gone in the last, 12 months.
And Martin, I'm just really glad that you listened to me 3 weeks ago when we talked about is our squad big enough, and you're coming round to my thinking that we can't just add another 5 players, and that
no. I think
that's great.
He has come around, Rich. You can see
I think
he's come around
players,
now.
and I think we'll add players. I just think you won't see all this.
Yeah.
All these youngsters suddenly all coming in. Because the way some fans are talking, you're going to end up with 7 youngsters all in the team.
I think we'll have to do Xavier.
Pep's not going to throw 7 18-year-olds into an 11 and go lads. Because
I don't reckon he'll get a choice on Savio.
Savio's only 19.
Yeah, I don't reckon Pep will get a choice on him though, because I think
City know
if we don't sign him, he's going to go to Madrid for 25 million.
He's not going to throw 7 or 8 19, 20-year-olds in the 11. He ain't going to do it. So
no, right. If he's got Haaland and Grealish and
we're going to Girona and kill and bringing half their team out. Ain't going to do it.
I think he'll bring a right back.
He'll get 1 or 2 max.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that.
And one of them we bloody own. Anyway, we'll just bring him back off loan.
Yeah. I think in this summer, I think we'll only sign 1 midfielder because Bernardo's going to stay. And I think the 2 midfielders is all based on Bernardo going. But I'm going to call it now. Bernardo's kid's going to be an early speaker. He's already got a Manc accent. He loves it. Steak pudding, favourite food. And Bernardo's going to think, I can't take him away from Manchester. He's going to stay. And therefore we'll only sign 1 midfielder. And I suspect it's more, I'm not saying it will be Kimmich, but I think it'll be more of a Kimmich than a Paquetá because of that number 6. I think we'll sign a young winger, probably Savio, because we've probably got no choice but to sign him, or he's going somewhere else.
Looking at Pedro,
and I think we'll sign.
Well, believe it or not.
And I don't think we'll sign Neto.
No,
I think we'll sign 2 fullbacks. I think we'll sign 2 fullbacks. Gomez will go, and we'll sign a Walker replacement / backup and a left back, and we'll sign a midfielder and a young winger. And 3 of them will probably be young. 3 of them will probably be young, not expensive players, and we'll sign 1 quality 6/8 player. Which I still think should have been McAllister.
Who are the load of homegrown players we've got? We haven't got loads of them at all.
Well, there's 2 kinds, isn't there? There's club trained and homegrown.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. Unless you're including your EDS, which you can do to make up for it, but then you can add anybody into the buddy mix. I mean,
even Ake is homegrown. Even Ake is homegrown.
Because our actual homegrown, believe it or not, is Nathan Ake, Scott Carson. He's not going to stay forever. You've got Walker. You've got
he is.
That's 3.
Scott's staying until he's finally has to go to the frame.
You got to stay.
Calvin Phillips you can't include anymore because he'll be gone. So you've got Foden, Grealish, Carson. Hang on, Ake, Carson, Foden, Grealish, Stones, and Walker. So you've got 6, and then you can include Rico and all them. So you've actually technically only got 6. So this is where I'm at. Then you're going down to your EDS. So you can have as many as you want out of them. But if you start selling Grealish, you then get, because it just limits your numbers down on what you can do then. Because you can only register, it's 17 or 18, and the rest have got
17 over 21 non-club trained homegrown players.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule Bernardo going. I don't know where Bernardo could go. Anyway.
He'll go back to Portugal.
Because the thing is,
I don't think if we get Neves in return.
I think if Barcelona was coming to the Mancunian way, they'd be like, probably wouldn't be able to afford the 3 of us. And I'd go and play left back for Barcelona for about 500 quid a week. And, I don't think they could afford us. So, Barcelona's problem is they are getting worse and worse and worse because they can't bring themselves, because they think they're gods of football, to actually make some hard decisions.
Oh dear. If anyone is new to the channel and hasn't considered hitting that subscribe button, we're 2 away from 3160. So if there are 2 people out there who are not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button. But you think we're going to win on Monday night, Ozza?
Again, not to do you, Martin, and arrogant, but yes, I think there's a chance that Tony could score, but I just think at the moment, the way City are, I think Rich is right. We're just going to go out there and, it'll be a 2-1, a 3-1, but it's about conserving, for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I think it'll be a win, but it'll be a nice win that we can just walk away and prepare for, the game against Everton on the weekend.
I think we'll have won it by half time.
Good
I think it'll be like the Burnley game. I think it'll be a win the game and conserve energy. I think, yeah.
Yeah, apparently the news is tonight Mbappe is getting very close to agreeing to go to Real Madrid. Which is quite good because that means there's no Haaland.
I don't know, they'll probably put him on the wing and they'll try and get Haaland to throw the middle.
Anyway, right. What we'll do is we're going to leave it there.
We'll sign Vinicius then.
What I'm going to do is, if you two want to shoot, you can do. While I do the draw, I don't mind. It's up to you. If you want to stay around, you can stay around. If you want to go, you can go. And I'm just going to do the draw.
Go on, mine, do the draw.
We have got, we're one subscriber away from 3160. One little subscriber. And then someone will unsubscribe again. Someone's playing funny beggars with the channel at the minute and don't realise they actually hurt the channel when they do that. Because when you subscribe and all that, it hurts the channel in the analytics. Anyway, right, I'm just going to bring up.
Do you know one of the best things here? When you stay in hotels and people have left themselves logged into YouTube, sign them up. Around the world, build new fans, 25-year-old Argentinian nurses wondering why they're now subscribed to City and why they love the Alvarez chat so much.
Right, I'm going to bring up the actual number now.
Hello, Pepe, who subscribed last week from the Gold Coast.
Right, let me turn my background off so we can do this fairly and you can see that I am being a normal person. Hello. See that I do use a background. Right, let's go to randomizer. Random number. We're going to change it. We've now got 139. So you can see there 1 and 139 on the randomizers. So you can see that I am telling the truth. And I'm going to randomize. Go. $44.
Should do a drum roll. Great, that's a job for next week or end of next month. Drum roll.
And the winner is, let me just now work out who's 44 on the list. Jesus. Come back to me in a minute. Really stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13.
Can you not put numbers next to people's names, Mark?
No.
It makes things so much
14,
quicker.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36.
There's a thing called counting in your head, Martin.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows it's done for real. 37, 38, 39, 41.
This is Frank Clark talking about our squad in 1997, 98, isn't it? He's just counting the players.
Is, believe it or not. And you know what? Can you count any faster?
Like
the winner is, and believe it or not, this is
Julie.
not a fix, is Mark Fogg. Which, I'll be honest with you, I think is quite nice.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's given
Congrats,
about
Mark.
100 super chats and everything in the last month. So,
Mark
Fogg, please email us at mancunianway1894@gmail.com. I don't know why my son is in the chat being a dick. Alan's not been in tonight. I wonder why. What you win is you will, if you email me over at the Mancunianway894@gmail.com, Mark, you will win a choice, a cup, a coaster, and a keyring set of your choosing. It can be of any set, anything you want. Anything you want. It can be Rich as a God, Martin Talks Sense, whatever you fancy, put on it with my beautiful face or Ozzy's beautiful comb beard. Or you can just have your favourite players. Picture of your wife, because I know Andy's doing Valentine's Day stuff at the moment. So get something nice for your wife.
What are you getting for the wife, Martin? From Andy, I'm talking about. Dog ass.
She's going to send it in May.
She wants a keyring from, come on, Martin. Can't get a keyring, a coaster, a mug.
A1A, you are a legend. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. And I know they're not cheap. And if I told you how much they were, you'd be shell shocked. I just want to say a massive thank you.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
To do that. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something. And I know everyone wants to bloody leave. But because I'm in such a generous mood tonight.
Wow, Rich, he's in a generous mood. Is this the time when we start asking for a pay rise?
I think he got extra, cinnamon in his Costa this morning or last night.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is we, as a Mancunian Way, are going to gift you lot 20 memberships.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have one.
It's your channel, you're putting in, we're
definitely.
Putting in.
Wow. Martin, you're in a generous mood.
So there you go. 20 of you have just got that. You're contributing to your channel. We will contribute to it. So there you go. Aussie Rich, you're not getting any wages this month.
Oh, well.
Anyway, big thank you to everyone. In return, if you can smash that like and smash that subscribe. We are trying to get to 5,000. I'm inflating my own numbers, our own numbers. Yeah. Because we always do that. No, we're not live tomorrow. We'll be live Monday night now. Monday night post-match for Brentford. Rich is thinking, am I available? Might just be me. Probably just me that Monday night. So
you've told us you're not paying us, so why are we coming on?
Pay him.
That's why
we don't do this for money.
Ozzy, this is why Martin's point about the British not being able to afford tickets is true, because these old-fashioned, mill owners who don't pay the workers for turning
A1 again.
Exactly.
It's not competition, mate. Calm down.
He thinks he's Sheikh Mansour.
Right,
yeah.
your turn. You go with 10 now.
Yeah.
Anybody else? No, thank you so much. And we have hit 13160. That'll drop down again tomorrow. But thank you so much. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched. A massive thank you to Sub2, who's renewed his membership for a 5th month. JA, who was gifted on a couple of occasions tonight. Chroma Base has joined for 1 month. Again, Carl Smith for his 99p sticker. AK for 2 amazing $4.99 super chats. Carl Smith and Chroma Base with their super stickers. Herbal with 10 gifted memberships. A1 with a total of 20 gifted memberships. And in return, as a massive thank you, we have gifted you all 20 memberships as well. because we want to put back into your channel. So thank you so much. We will be live Monday night. And like I said, anyone who wants to read or Martin's having a go, no, we're not. We want to bring everyone together in a balanced way. We love fans from abroad. We just want the fans from abroad and the local fans to all be treated exactly the same. That's all we're asking. But anyway, we will see you all. Lenny with a gifted. Thank you so much. I'm going because you're all throwing money away now. Come on, stop it. You're all too kind and generous. Thank you so much, Lenny. I will do a Twitter space tomorrow night late on for the Brentford preview on Twitter. That'll be about 10:30, 11-ish. Probably about 11, half 11, should I say. But have a lovely rest of your weekend. Share this around. We'll see you Monday night for the post-match. Take care all. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend.
Good night.
Bye. Cheers, gentlemen.